Hi, my name is Jenny Smith with Influential Women. And today's guest is we have Miss Donna Lira here from Sarah Shaw Dance Studios. Thanks, Donna, for being here.
Absolutely, Jenny. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, man, I have to tell you, I'm a little nervous being here with you today. You've been such an inspiration in my life, so it means the world that you are here, and just thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you're busy.
Absolutely. I was so glad to do this, and I appreciated you reaching out to me.
Yeah. I mean, how long have I known you? I've known you since elementary school.
Oh, my gosh. Well, this year in May, I'll be celebrating 31 years.
31 years teaching.
Teaching.
And when you were little, did you think you were going to be a dance teacher?
No.
No? What did you think you were going to be?
I had no idea what I was going to be. I decided, I was dancing all those years because I started when I was 3 years old. And then I just kept going. And I really, when I got to high school, that's when Sarah said, would you like to start teaching? And I was like, I guess. And so I started teaching. And then when I graduated and went to college, she's like, well, I was working at a silly place, Sonic. But she said, would you like to start teaching in, more hours? And I was like, absolutely. So sounds terrible, but I dropped out of college.
That doesn't sound terrible.
And I just went to teaching a lot of hours, and I love every minute of it. Every minute of it.
What dance did you start teaching first? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I remember teaching, I believe it was clog, though.
I could see that.
Yeah, I believe it was clog. And, what's kind of funny is clog is not even my favorite style of dance.
Really?
No.
What is your favorite style of dance then?
Tapping.
Tapping? What? And you don't even really teach tap, right?
No, I teach the little kids, and then I teach up to grade 4. I teach 4th grade all the way up to then. And then after they get to 3rd grade, then when they get to 4th grade, they would always go to Sarah Shaw. And she would start prepping them for competition and that kind of stuff. And so now I'm prepping them to go to my niece Ryan, and she takes them, and now she's molding them to the competition stage for the competition tap. But I love tap dancing. That is my absolute favorite.
That's crazy. And you really don't teach it. Well, I guess at the younger age. And so you were going to go to college. What were you going to go to, or what were you going to college for?
Actually, I was going for kinesiology.
Really?
Yeah. And I started changing that's what I was going to go to, because I thought, well, I'll just be a teacher, And then I was like, maybe I'll go for kinesiology. And then I started kind of changing things up. And that's when she said, do you want to teach? And I was like, yes. Like, that was my love. Like, I loved being at the studio. I loved everything about it. And so growing up with her was just amazing.
Was she your only dance teacher? You said you started dancing when you were 3.
Yeah, she was my only one.
She was your only dance teacher since you were 3.
Yep.
So how long did you know Sarah for? 3 till, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
47.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. I started dancing when I was 3 years old, and my brother, actually, my older brother, Brian, he started the year after me, I believe, because he saw me dancing, and then my mom said, well, do you want to try it? And he said, yeah. And so he didn't start till after I was, I had started. Oh, so wow. It all started with me, and it was all started with my grandma.
Why your grandma?
My grandma is the one that said, I think we should put Donna in dance. And my mom was like, okay.
And how did she know to go to Sarah Shaw?
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. But, we immediately, when we went in, my mom, she felt an immediate connection with Sarah. And Sarah's so good to our family. And we just absolutely loved it. And so my grandma Jenny was the one that said,
quit it.
Her name is Jenny.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, so she got us started. And then from there, we just kept going. And, there was times when we couldn't afford it. And it was literally $1.
I remember that. It used to be $1 a class.
Yeah, my mom used to have us stand at the bar. And Sarah would have us all stand at the bar and have our $1 in our hand. And she would go by and collect our $1 from us. And, it was kind of crazy back then it was only $1. But, my dad got laid off, and we couldn't afford it. And my mom, was doing everything she could. And then finally my mom ended up getting a job just so that we could dance longer.
Because your whole family danced, because you have 2 brothers and a sister, correct?
Yep.
And you all four danced.
All four of us danced.
That is crazy. Yeah, I remember your sister was like my helper in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, though.
That was a long time ago. And she doesn't do anything with dance. Like she just comes and watches the kids, you know, and I don't know. She just never really did. And she really moved away is what she did. Because she moved to, California, and then she moved to Texas, and now she's in Las Vegas.
Okay, but you're born and raised here in Pueblo.
Born and raised.
And the biggest, question there is what high school did you go to?
Centennial.
Oh, you're a bulldog.
I was a bulldog.
Was your sister a bulldog?
Yep, all of us were bulldogs.
You were all bulldogs.
All of us.
Oh.
I know.
And now you have your nieces working at the studio.
Yeah, my niece Ryan, she's the one that took over all of Sarah's tap stuff, and she also teaches clog at the studio. My niece Ricky actually was teaching Sarah's last class that she had before she passed, and Ricky actually is pregnant.
Yes, I saw a little boy.
A little boy.
And so she just fixed up the nursery so stinking cute.
Yes, she did, and so she's due actually next month, so she's not coming back. But
Ever?
Not because she doesn't love it, just because she needs to, create another life. You need to have a different, sometimes you need to step away from what you're doing, and and I'm so happy for her. I think she'll be back. I think she just needs, some time before the baby comes, and she's going to see other things, and that's great. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
So
cool.
how was it for you being a mother? Speaking of her being a mother, how was it you being a mother and then dancing late at night? How was that? How did you juggle all of that?
Somebody just asked me that because I've never in all these years have had dinner with my family.
Oh my gosh.
Never. Maybe Friday nights, Saturday nights, the weekend, but I have never sat down and had dinner all week long with my family. And during this whole pandemic, it's gave me a chance to reconnect with my family. So it's been really hard, not ever being there. My husband is amazing. He was always there to help the boys with their homework because he would always work the opposite shift as me, so that somebody could be with the kids. So, excuse me. So we would always just make it work. And I always have worked 6 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
I work Monday through Friday, and then I work Saturdays because all my babies come on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So it's been tough. I miss a lot of things. But Sarah's always said to me, don't miss out those things. If you have to leave work, you find somebody to replace you and you go do it because you don't want to miss that moment. You'll never get it back. Mm-hmm. And so I said, okay. And so, Marcus's senior year, in 2017, he had some things that he was doing, and Sarah said, go, absolutely go. And good. So, yeah, I never missed, really. I never missed anything. I always made it work. But that's the one thing that I was sad about. And now during this whole thing, I'm like, I get to have dinner with my family.
So now who cooks?
Actually, my husband does a lot of the cooking.
Still cook?
Yeah, he cooks, but I actually cook too. And I love to bake.
Do you? What's your favorite thing to bake?
You asked that. That's funny because everybody always requests sugar cookies from me. I make sugar cookies. And
where's my sugar cookies?
Actually, I was going to make some this week. I'll have to bring you some.
Okay, there's my request, Donna Lira. I would like some of your famous sugar cookies.
I know, and there's nothing special about them. They're just, I make, dozens of them, and I make them also pizza size. I make cookie, mm-hmm. I bake big cookies people have used them for their birthday cakes and stuff.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I love to bake. I know. A lot of people don't know that about me.
You're so cute. So you missed out on a lot of dinners, but you were still able to do a lot of your kids' stuff.
Yes, I was.
So you never felt like you missed out in their lives and in the night stuff that they had?
I don't, because I always tried to leave work to go to a performance or to, a play or something like that. So I don't know how they feel about it. But I do feel like I was always there. The only one thing I missed was, and I know this and it kills me every time I think about it. is my Jacob. He was in 5th grade. And that very day, my dad had a heart attack.
Oh.
And it was at this exact same like couple hours that my dad was going to the hospital. And I didn't know, what was going to happen with my dad. And so my mom called and she said, you guys need to head to the hospital. And I sent my husband to Jake's performance because it was his 5th grade graduation. And he went and did that. And I went to the hospital. But it wasn't because I didn't want to be there.
Right.
I just was torn at the time and had to go. And I wanted to be with my dad.
When that's understanding, but
Yeah.
not because of dance. You would have made
Not because of
everything.
dance. Not because of dance. It was a personal, thing. And
When you're very successful being a dance teacher, and I find like a lot of women have a hard time finding that balance.
yeah.
What's that work-family balance? How do you know when to say, I have to go be there for my kid for this? But it seems like, you had Sarah who was understanding and kind of gave you that flexibility when you needed it.
Yeah, she absolutely did.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about it.
So you kind of talked a little bit about the pandemic. What is some advice for your dancers? You've been so positive for everybody this last year. A lot of traditional milestones were lost, yet you gave such great support and continued to carry the torch for the studio. What advice do you have for your dancers?
It's been really hard this last year. My dancers really had a hard time. The seniors in 2020 really missed out on a lot. I tried to go back to what they missed. We did plan a day at the park. We had a few hours at the park, and we presented the kids with things that we would give them at the recital. Ryan gave them their tiaras. I gave them their banners. And we gave, the parents gave us a gift. We gave them, little gifts. And we took their pictures with their moms because it was very important that they didn't miss that opportunity because they did miss the opportunity to dance with their mom. Because in the springtime, they dance with their moms. But at Christmas time, they dance with their dads.
Right.
And so they all got the dance with their dads for Christmas, but then for spring, they missed that chance. So we tried to continue, and I tried to make sure that they got that. This last recital, for Christmas, we weren't able to have it. And, we weren't able to have it because first the restrictions had changed. But our studio is a big studio. And
Yeah, you're definitely the biggest here in Pueblo.
Yeah, and we really couldn't have one at the time. So, Ryan is in charge of marketing in Instagram.
She does a good job with that.
Yeah, she does a really good job with her editing and all the stuff she does with that. And so she put all their pictures up, and we had their pictures taken still like they would normally be on the stage for Christmas. And we're just trying to keep everything positive for them. Every day when I see the kids, something's changed, and Miss Donna, are we going to get to have a recital? Yes, we do have a recital scheduled this time. We do have an indoor venue and an outdoor venue just in case.
Oh, really?
One doesn't work out.
Where's the outdoor venue?
The State Fair.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we decided that, we would try to do the outdoor venue if the indoor venue doesn't work, but it sounds like it's going to work. I'd be excited for the kids to be back in Memorial Hall. I feel like they need to be in Memorial Hall, and that would be the best time for them because our statue's done now.
Tell me about the statue.
Oh, gosh.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't seen it already.
I know. I heard you did see it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
And I didn't take any pictures.
I think you saw it before it was actually done, though. I think you saw it in the clay stage.
Yes.
Yes. So you didn't see it when it got the bronze on it. I'm so excited for it. It'll be right outside the doors of Memorial Hall.
When is that scheduled to go?
Well, I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it recital weekend.
Okay.
So that's I think our goal. Of course we want as many people that could be there as possible. So we're not sure if that's actually going to be able to be possible. But Sarah's husband's ready to put it up, and we need to get it up.
Absolutely.
So it's absolutely beautiful. I've seen the finished product, and it's beautiful.
And there's some little clues on there that some people may not know about, right?
That's right.
And you're not going to share them with me, are
I'm
you?
not going to share.
Oh, she's sworn to secrecy, this one.
I know.
I respect that, though.
Yeah, there's a little secrets on there that nobody will know. They'll have to really look at the statue to find them. But there's some meaningful things that I could share.
Okay.
They did put she wears a heart necklace all the time. Her granddaughter Amanda has that necklace right now. But she wears a heart necklace, and that heart necklace was molded, and the heart necklace is on Sarah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And of course she has her anniversary ring on, and those two things were molded. But there's something else on the statue. So
Okay.
that everybody will have to really look for.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
And just the family knows, right?
Just the family knows.
See, I like that. I think you just keep it like that, and it's something that they get a hold with themselves.
Yeah.
So, I have you here because you are such an influence on so many young women and men, and you just make such a positive difference. I know you did in my life. Who is somebody that has inspired you?
You mean besides Sarah?
You can answer that in any way you would like.
Because Sarah has been absolutely the person for me. She was not only somebody that I looked up to and thought of. I mean, I didn't just think of her as a teacher, or boss. Like I never thought of her. She would say to me, Donna, don't ever call me boss. I'm not your boss. I'm your friend. I'm your, and she always was like, she was my teacher. Yes, she was my boss, but never acted like a boss with me. Always just worked side by side. We always talked about everything. But she was my person. She was my heart, and she was my other mom. I always tell her she was my other mom. And we have a saying in our family with Sarah. We have our friends forever, but we say friends and family forever.
Oh.
And Sarah's always signed like cards, to my boys. She was so cute. She would always put G Sarah, Grandma Sarah.
Oh.
I know. And so they always, they looked up to Sarah as well, and my whole family just adored her. And she's the person that just inspires me to be who I am and continue doing what I'm doing. Because I know I always think to myself, okay, how would Sarah want me to do this? Or how would Sarah think about this? Or, if this is the way it is, I don't think she'd want to do this. Like, I don't think if she was still here, I don't think she would. I don't know. I really don't know if she'd be able to do this. First of all, because of her health, but I think because it would be so heartbreaking for her to not be able to hug the kids and just take
She'd
them
probably
in.
do it anyways.
She probably would. And then I'd be like, Sarah, we can't be hugging them. She probably would. She'd be hugging them. And I want to hug them. I can't hug them.
Right.
We don't touch. We don't, and
It's a different time right now.
yeah, it is. But she is absolutely my person.
She's your person. And I would say she's a lot of people's person.
She is. She is a lot of people's
How
person.
long did she teach dance for?
56 years.
56 years.
Yeah.
Man, she's left quite a legacy here. I know she's left a big legacy in my heart. And how is the studio now? Is it? I know it's different. Sarah's not there. You have Ryan kind of stepped in, taken over her tap. I mean, how is the studio life?
The studio life is good. It's different, like you said. It's Ryan takes the tap stuff. I have all of my other things. I teach like 28 classes a week.
Oh my gosh.
I know. But it's been good. Everybody has stepped up and just really, helped and done what they're supposed to do, and I hardly have any slack from it. And everybody listens and, follows all the rules, and, it's good. It really is. We're continuing her legacy.
And I think she would be so proud of you and of the whole team for doing what they do. Because I know we're coming up on 2 years already?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in April.
Oh, I still can't believe she's been gone that long, but what an amazing woman. And I'm just proud of you because you didn't have to kind of step up and you have kept that dance studio running. So for a lot of Pueblo families, we are very grateful for you doing that.
Thank you.
And you said you teach 28 dances?
I think it's like 28.
How do you remember them all? I've always wanted, I would remember a lot of dances, but how do you keep your choreography fresh and remember them all?
Well, remembering has been a challenge, but I usually, I used to be able to just remember without writing anything down. I used to be able to do that.
Now you like Sarah and you have to write in a little notebook?
Oh, I write in a notebook every day. And my assistant writes for me. I have an assistant in every class, and either if I don't write it, they write it, and make sure that we have notes and we know exactly what's happening with every class, with costumes, with, you have everything that goes on in the classroom, and people don't realize how much goes into one class. And it's hard to keep things fresh. Mm-hmm. That's, I'm getting older and I feel like I'm not as fresh, for the kids. But I do I watch a lot of videos myself.
Okay.
And I did watch recital this last weekend. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot and I observe, and Sarah always told me the best way of learning is by watching and paying attention. Mm. And sometimes I feel like I'm not kept up, with the years of all these kids,
But see, I think you have. You've done a well job. I mean, you have.
I love teaching, and so I'm like, well, I really need some new material. I'll go on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, what new steps can I learn for clogging? Or, because some of the kids say, Miss Donna, I never learned this step. And I said, well, girls, we need to step it up. Mm-hmm. We need to learn new steps. And so, it's just for me, it's the body. I've got for jazz.
Oh, you're so good with jazz. You just come up with stuff and I'm like, where did she get that?
I know, but I just feel like the jazz is just evolving all the time. And so I actually have, some younger students that are my assistants that, they help me, and I could say, okay, girls, you're not doing that right. You need to really stretch through your legs, and, and I'm like, watch her do it, watch her demonstrate. And they watch, and I can watch and tell them exactly, how I want for them to do it, but I can't necessarily do it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still teaching them how to do it. And so the fresh stuff is always hard because I always want the kids to have a different theme.
Yeah.
I have so many themes that I've done over the years.
So what's your all-time favorite choreographed dance that you did?
Oh my gosh.
Because I know mine, so I want to hear what yours is.
Oh, I wonder if yours is the same. Are you talking clog? Or are you talking tap?
I was actually talking jazz.
I don't know.
What is your all-time favorite?
I don't know, because I've seen the year that I did a dance. I was actually not even a senior because I kept dancing after I had Marcus. I mean, before I had Marcus, I kept dancing. And so I danced almost until the year before I got married.
Really?
Yeah. I kept dancing, and I danced with the seniors. So I felt like I was I'm getting married. I need to step away. But my favorite dance was the stepping out, because I did stepping out tap.
Okay. I remember that one.
And we lost by 2 points, I think it was, to another team in a competition. And I remember Sarah saying, you guys absolutely deserve that. And she was just so upset that we lost. But for tap, that was my favorite, was stepping out.
Stepping out
with my baby.
Well, and you did that one. What about one that you choreographed?
Well,
that you taught?
I didn't choreograph tap, but I did choreograph clog. I probably want to say it's my military clog that I did. That it was I want to say Johnny Stewart did it. Brooke Swanson, that grouping. Mm-hmm. I want to say it was them that did that clog. But I did an army military dance. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I've done some really, really good clogs. I don't know. Some of my kids said Twilight Zone. I did a Twilight Zone, and I used a huge piece of material, and they were all intertwined in it, and they did all kinds of designs and stuff, and they pulled it in different directions. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and we did that, and my kids were like, it was the ugliest costume ever. It was like a full bodysuit, and it covered their head, and the only thing that stuck out was their head. And they kept saying, oh, Donna, are you sure you want us to wear this? And I'm like, girls, I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. And sure enough, it was. And then I also did a mime dance that year. And I did a jailhouse. I did so many. I don't know, a jailhouse rock that was really cool. I don't know.
You have a lot of years to think back on. That's why I was curious what pops in your head first.
And, like Cotton Eye Joe. Oh, I did a Cotton Eye Joe. And, Cotton Eye Joe is always an audience grabber. Like, it's just
fun to clock to.
Yeah. But my favorite jazz is probably like Janet Jackson jazz. I did If.
Oh, that's
And I also did, All For You.
Yes, All For You.
All For You.
So when I heard it actually in Target a couple weeks ago, and I'm seriously like there doing it. I was like the understudy, so I didn't actually get to perform it, but I learned it all. And that's still my favorite dance, and I never even got to perform it.
Yeah, All For You. It was
amazing.
It was a really good dance. We did take a couple parts from the actual video of Janet Jackson, but I won't ever use the entire routine. That's not good. But I took that little chunk of material, and that was that was my all-time favorite jazz was All For You.
Oh, it was an amazing dance.
It really turned out good.
Yeah.
And I have amazing students though, so.
So speaking of students, how many students do you think you've taught?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Thousands. Tens of thousands almost.
I don't know. I mean, Sarah's taught a lot of kids. I've taught a lot of kids as well. She makes comments to me that she'll say, well, you remember so-and-so. And I'm like, Sarah, I don't remember them. And I said, you have to remember, you're 73 and I'm 47. She was thinking she always felt like I was on the same level as her, which is funny. But
are you like a local celebrity? Do you feel like that? Like you can't go anywhere without saying, hi, Miss Donna?
Well, that is true. Yeah, my husband hates it.
Does he? He's not used to it by now?
Well, he's used to it, but he's like, you can't go anywhere. Can you just walk through the store without talking to people? And I'm like, I wish I could, but I said, I have to talk to my babies. Like, I can't not talk to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right if I just
They just get
wave.
so excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see you right now. It's not just on Facebook. Like, I get to, see you. I love it.
I know. It's so cool. And I'm so happy, when I see people and everybody's like, hi, how are you? And so that's a good feeling to know a lot of people. I feel terrible when I don't remember
a student's name.
Yeah, a name. And I usually remember them. It's not usually I forget their names. I usually remember them. And especially if they danced for me from when they were little till they graduated, I don't, forget. Right. But if they danced for me for a short time, it's kind of hard to remember. But most of the time they say, oh, I was in class with, and I'm like, oh, absolutely remember you. And it just takes me a little bit to remember, but I have to think oh my gosh, Donna, you've seen a lot of kids through 47 years.
Yeah, so give yourself some grace on that if you don't remember right away. So you've had a lot of students. Who's the one that sticks out man, I did good with that one. They went far in life because of me. Do you have that one kid that just really stands out?
I don't like to say.
I know you don't. And that's okay. This is we're not at the dance studio.
I know. I just don't like to say that I had everything to do with how they are because, sometimes they did other things besides what they did at the studio that helped them be the person they are. But, I still feel connected to, still, and I get messages from kids that are graduated and they're doing things, and they send me a message and, somebody that always taps into what I'm doing and always says how proud he is of me is Johnny Stewart. He always tells me how proud he is. And I think that that's just a relationship that we've had. He was always close to Sarah, but we'd have meetings with Johnny after he graduated and he went to New York and stuff. And
tell me a little bit about, what did he do to?
Well, he's going right now. Actually, I don't know what he's doing today.
Right.
But he's he's singing, and he wants to be, I believe he wants to be on Broadway. Yeah. And, Johnny sings and he loves to dance. I don't know if Johnny's really, working out and dancing right now, but, that's just, I know that he wants to be, a Broadway person, but he's just somebody that, if he comes back to town, he'll say, "Oh, Donna, I'm going to be in Pueblo, is there, and when Sarah was here, he'd go meet us at the studio and take us both a coffee and,
Aww.
And just want to have a conversation." And I think that any student like that honestly, that just calls me and says, "Miss Donna, do you want to go have lunch? Or do you want to go, just can I come by the studio and see you?" I'm like, I just get very touched by that, because everybody gets so busy in their lives, that I try personally to reach out to people, so, "Oh, what are you doing? Would you like to come teach a class?" I reach out to my friends trying to see if they want to come and work, but not just because of that, but just because I like to see what they're doing. I like to know what they're doing.
So I used to dance with Johnny's older sister. So I knew him when he was like little. So I never danced with him. I remember that one dance when it was like the senior tap and he was a little boy holding a suitcase.
Oh,
At Vegas Comp. I don't know. It was like Hit the Road Jack.
Yes, it was.
Oh, that was so cute that he was in. And he was just this cute little boy with all these senior tap dancers.
I know. Sarah always wanted Johnny to do little stuff like that. But, he's just somebody that has my heart. But he's not, there's lots of students out there. I've got lots of kids that are on, dance teams in college. I've got people that are in, I have a girl that was a Nuggets dancer now.
Oh yeah, that was Brooke. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Brooke and Johnny are really close. And, Brooke's always, doing stuff, and she helped me get coordinated with someone so my dancers could do the Nuggets game last year.
Oh, that's super cool.
So my Palm girls got to do a performance at the Nuggets game, and Brooke helped me get coordinated with the right person, over there. And she's still involved, I believe, in the Denver Nuggets stuff, the media type, stuff. And so she, I'll reach out to her every once in a while just for something, can you help me, oh yeah, but I always, all my kids reach out to me, and I think that's amazing.
That is.
I really do.
Well, you have a lot of successes, and your kids are very successful. Did you ever have a part in your life where you're like, this is my moment of failure? Like, I don't think I can do this.
Honestly, I had to really think of if I could do it after Sarah passed, but not because I didn't think I could do it. It was because I didn't know if I wanted to do it without her. That was like a really hard time, and that was the only time I really said, is it time for this to be over? And then my husband and I sat and visited about it, and he said, "Are you sure you want to do this forever? Or do you want to, now that, Sarah's not here, do you want to step away?" And I said, I think Sarah would just be sad if I let it go. Mm-hmm. And I think her studio has to continue. And I said, he's like, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "I just never imagined I would be doing it without her."
Right.
And he said, "That's what you got to think about. Do you want to do this without her?" And I said, "I don't want to do it without her." I said, "But I have to do it without her.
You have to do it for her."
I have to do it for her and continue all of this for her, because she would be devastated if the studio closed.
Right. And I couldn't imagine if you weren't there doing it, where it would be today. So
I don't either. I honestly don't know. All the people that are at the studio, Miss Kathy, she runs the office and does a phenomenal job of organizing everything. And, I've got all my teachers, and they, Ricky and Ryan and my son Marcus is now back teaching at the studio, and you know, I think I have 20 people on staff that, you know, they're younger, and so, you know, they have new vibes and, you know, stuff like that. But I really just needed to keep it going, and I don't imagine my life without it. I don't know what I would be doing without it.
Well, and you say that, but you kind of started a new business venture on the side, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I just started doing Ethereum.
I've seen that all over Facebook.
Yeah.
And what is that?
It's cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Bitcoin. But you form a team, you know, and everybody gets commission off of each other, and, you know, it starts building it up. And
so it's kind of like an MLM?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of. So I don't know. I just started kind of doing that, and, you know, looking for people that want to invest in it as well. I honestly put in $300 before Christmas because I said, you know, I told my husband, I'm like, I need to make some extra money. I'm like, you know, teaching dance makes money, but you don't make a ton of money. But you just do it for the love, you know. And Absolutely. I said, I need to venture out a little bit. And I said, you know, I saw a friend of mine, and she posted a video, and, you know, how she had made some money. And I was like, well, what did you do? And she's like, well, I don't have to sell anything. She invested $300 as well. And I told my husband, I'm like, let's just put $300 and see where it goes. And yesterday, I mean, I've been adding people to my team. Mm-hmm. So that's good. You know, they bought in for a certain amount, and, you know, some people have bought in a little higher. So you want to stay at the same level as them or above them. So the commission that comes back to you is, you get like full commission. So you don't end up, you know, missing out if somebody comes in at a level above you. You want to make sure you're on the same level. But I already have like 4 people on my team, and they have people that they've expanded on. And so I checked it's called a token pocket, but I checked it yesterday. And I'm up to $3,000.
You go, girl.
And I'm like, in a month.
Wow.
And I'm like, come on.
Right. So if you're looking to grow some money, reach out to you. Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah, reach out and I'll sign you up.
Okay. Well, maybe I want in.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit more after this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that's a great way for you to do something extra. You have a whole community of people that love and adore you. Why not?
Yeah, and all the people that I have on my team, it's kind of funny. They're all studio people.
Really?
Yeah, they're all studio people. And they all have reached out, you know, to their families. And I don't know. It's just, you know, I do know a lot of people. So that's why I'm like, come on, people, like, get on board. Like, join me, you know, let's do this. And so, you know, when you reached out to me to do this, I said, you know, that's really cool. I'm like, I'd be happy to do that. And I'm just honored that you think that of me.
Oh, absolutely. So this will be airing actually February 10th.
Oh, okay.
So I will start like releasing all that stuff and giving you some stuff so people can listen. But I have a couple more questions,
okay.
And then I know you're busy and you got to go choreograph some dances. What is the advice that you always give to dancers?
I was trying to think about that one because somebody else asked me that. You know, I try to just stick with the same values. I honestly try to stick with the same values that Sarah does. So that's like a good advice to them, is that they all need to think all the time and try to remember, how would Sarah feel about that? Like, that's some advice for them. Like,
kind of like, what would Jesus do? But how would Sarah feel about that?
Yeah. Like, if you're going to make a choice, you know, and I don't know, like, even, I don't know, what would Sarah think about you doing that? You know,
interesting.
That's some advice, like, advice that she gave me advice about kids, because she said everybody deserves the opportunity, no matter their size, their shape, their color, their anything, you know, their abilities, their disabilities. Like, everybody deserves a chance and to be, you know, a competition dancer. Or that's why she doesn't have, you know, restrictions for your size, your height, your hair color, your, you know, anything. You don't really have to try out for it. You know, you're just part of our team, and it's because you love to dance. And so, I say, you guys, if you're going to do this, do it with your whole heart. Like, if you want, put your whole heart in it. Make yourself feel the way you would want to feel when you're performing. Like, don't just do it halfway. Like, come on, give me your all, because your all is what the audience sees.
And Sarah did always expect that.
She did. She always expected your best, even if your best was a little tiny bit, but she wants your best. So please give me your best.
What are 3 qualities that you think Sarah gave to others, kind of instilled in them?
Oh, gosh, confidence. She would say, if you want, you need to be able to stand up in front of a crowd and say your name. Just like you should be able to do that. Dance should give you that strength so that you could at least stand up and say your name. So confidence. Let's see. Well, I don't know. She would always say, love with your whole being, and stand up tall, hold your head high, always dance with a smile. We actually have a dance that we'll be performing this recital. When she passed, last year I started making a memory dance.
Oh,
I know. And so I had, my husband wrote a story for me. I told him, can you write, this for me? And so he wrote a story, and then Johnny recorded the story, his voice. So he's saying the words, and then we go into dance, and it's all about things that she's instilled in us.
you're kidding.
No.
How do I get a copy of that?
Well, when it's done, it'll be at our recital.
And do you think that'll be a new, you always have a traditional dance,
Oh,
hers was always thanks for the memories. And do you think that'll be a traditional thing?
I don't know. I didn't think about it like that. I just thought, I asked Sarah's husband when Sarah passed if he would be okay with me doing, a memory type of dance. He said, absolutely. And he's like, he just can't wait for it because we've still been waiting, because we were going to do it last spring. We couldn't do it. We were going to do it at Christmas. We couldn't do it.
Is it your seniors?
It's juniors and seniors.
Your juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
That would be a neat thing to make that like a traditional.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about it.
In remembrance of her. Because, there's always that thanks for the memories and all those different songs that she had at every recital. But I think that would be neat. I want to hear this. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. And of course, it's the, what's that memory song by Adam Levine?
Okay.
That song is in there. But the poem and the story at the beginning is all created from us.
I love that. When she always had like the quirkiest things that she would say.
I know.
What was like your all-time favorite thing that Sarah would always say?
Oh my gosh. I still say it because she says, oh, beans.
Oh, beans.
She would say, oh, beans all the time. And
she would have all these fun little sayings and then you catch yourself saying them.
I know. And I say them all the time. And she would elaborate on that, and she would say, oh, beans, applesauce, and potatoes or something, and I don't think a lot of people heard that because I was in the classroom with her being her helper when she would say that. She was like, oh, beans, applesauce, and potatoes, or and so I say that, and my kids, and I call my little kids, I call them little lambs sometimes, and I don't know why, it just kind of, one day my niece Ricky, had her in class, and I called them little lambs, and they were like, why are you calling us little lambs? I'm like, I don't know. I just started calling them little lambs. And so sometimes I call the kids little lambs and they're like, why are we little lambs? I'm like, I don't know. But just little things she said was the oh beans thing. She would always say that. And the kids always talk about how Sarah would grab their arms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
you get over here. Yeah. You get in your spot.
And her grip was just, and her little tiny hands, it's such a death grip. But she's just funny. And she would tell stories until she cried. She'd be telling stories that she thought was so funny, and she'd make us laugh, and then she'd be crying. She'd be laughing so hard. But those are just little quirky things about her.
Well, I have one last question for you, and okay. I hope you'll tell me what it is.
Oh gosh, I know what you're going to ask.
You do. This is for Lacey. What is your middle name?
I don't share my middle name.
Why? And you're not going to even share it right now?
No, you know what's funny is anybody can look it up, but I never, my mom gets so sad. I don't love my middle name. I think it's old. And
is it like Francis?
it's like, I'm
What is it? You have to tell
no,
me.
I'm not. Lacey's
What?
like, my brother's like, you can give me a check and I'll tell you what the
No, I don't want money. I just, the world should know what your middle name is.
I just don't share it. It's just kind of funny, but the kids have always asked me, and some of my kids have looked it up, and I'm like,
So you want me to go stalk you? You're not going to tell me I have to go stalk you and
you
find
can
out.
go stalk and find out. I'm not going to air it.
Oh, you're
It's so
funny.
funny. I know. And Lacey, funny. She's funny. If she wants to know, she probably could just ask me and I would tell her privately. But I just don't use my middle name. I mean, I use it like, you know, for legal documents and stuff. And my grandpa used to always say my full name. He would always call me by my full name. And I have one of my dad's best friends always calls me. He would call me. He passed away recently, but he would call me by my middle name. And they're like the only people that have ever.
Okay, so now I have to stalk you is what you're going to say.
Yeah, you're going to have to stalk because
Okay.
I don't share it. If they find out, they find out. But it's like, it's not a secret, but it kind of is. Like,
I kind of like that you're going to keep it a secret too.
I'm not
I
going to
thought I was going to let the whole world know, and then nope, you're like,
Nope. Sorry, world. You're going to have to just Google it, I guess.
Google it. Well, Miss Donna, I love you.
I love you too, Jen.
I admire you. I appreciate all that you do for our community and for the love of dance and keeping the Sarah Shaw name going strong. You make all of us so proud. You are an influential woman, and thank you for being a guest today on my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Have a good day.
Friends forever.
Friends forever.
Friends forever.